Here we have a pre-owned 2017 GMC Sierra 1500. This one comes in the Denali trim level with 4-wheel drive. And this color is onyx black. And then we get jet black perforated leather interior. And the powertrain consists of a 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. And that's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, giving us 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. And this one just has a little over 81,000 miles. But around to the front end here, we do get our LED fog lights along with LED daytime running lights. And then we do get high-intensity discharge headlamps. Great look there. And this is one of my favorite looks for the Sierra. I just think it looks like a Transformer, but still looks cool and like a truck. But of course, you have the signature Denali grille as well. And then we just have a few, this has been touched up, just a few scratches here on the hood for whatever reason. Maybe a bird or something, but for the most part, has held up pretty nicely. And I love the chrome on the bottom there too, next to the recovery hooks. But we do get these 20-inch polished aluminum wheels. You can see we've curved them once or twice, at least this one in particular. But to the driver door panel here, to set your memory seat, just hit set and then hold the one you want to set it to. It'll beep at you twice. And then we get one-touch automatic up and down for the driver's side window and then express down for the other three. And then we have our electronic child locks there for the back, and then rear window lock there. Power door lock controls are here, and then our power mirror controls. We can turn those on and off and adjust direction there. And then we can also power fold. And then you can see the turn signal indicator there. Now up here we have our trailer brake controller, 4-wheel drive controls, headlamp controls, brightness for the gauge cluster. And then down here we have a foot pedal parking brake. So you just push that up and down to, we'll push it on and off there. There's the hood release. And then we do have a tilt telescope steering wheel, so that's for the tilt. And then this is for the telescope. But here's our power driver seat with power lumbar support. And I love how Denali is embossed there in the headrest. Let's go ahead and take a look at this rear seat room. Get away from that siren. So I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. And still not bad legroom back here. My knees are just barely grazing the back of the seat here, but still soft and plenty of space. Now that was the one benefit of the newer crew cabs like the Silverados and Sierras for 2019, is you did get a bit more leg room, I think. But we do have storage there. And then pull this down, 2 cup holders or bottle holders there in that center seat. We do get the premium LED dome lights, which I love. Then grab handle here, and this hook will probably hang just a metal hook or metal hanger or 2. I don't even think you can fit a plastic one in there. It's just too skinny. We have another grab handle here. And then of course, if you want more storage, fold that up there. Pretty easy to fold up and down. Fuel fillers here. But again, love the looks of these. Now this one does get LED tail lamps, which was a pretty big deal back in 2017. If you don't have them now, you're pretty much being cheap compared to the, well, according to the public. There's the bed liner there. And then we do have a spare underneath, and that's where the exhaust comes out. But this one seems to have held up pretty nicely again for the mileage, not seeing a lot of dents and dings. But to the front passenger seat here, get that same adjustability, power seat bottom, power seat back, and then that power lumbar support, 4-way. And then we do have the side pockets here as well. Love having those, and I love that kind of faux wood grain look there. That looks pretty neat. Little squeaky, but no big deal. Now we do have a glove compartment here, and I did not know this had a window sticker in it, but then a lockable one up here. But since we do have this window sticker, let's go ahead and take a look. And a huge shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below to it in the description. But we do get a 2-speed transfer case, which is nice. And I mean, that's crazy. $57,780 was the sticker price for this. Something similarly equipped in 23 will probably run you like $70-something thousand. That's just crazy. And I think this one is actually still like 40 grand used. Just crazy what inflation and COVID and all that's done to the car market, even after it's kind of died down from its previous peaks. But there's that 5.3 liter V8. Mostly covered up there, but let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So we get a nice leather wrap steering wheel here. You can see just a tad bit, if that, of wear around the outside. These tend to hold up. The leather and just how it was made a lot of sense. But let's go over to this radio here. Now for the audio, we do get AM, FM, and then you can set your presets down there, and then you can swipe through them if you want to just save the next one, just hold it there. So again, we do get AM, FM, XM. Then we have Bluetooth audio, and we also have wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto compatibility, which is great, and it was great to have back in 2017. Pretty much everything comes standard with at least wired CarPlay or Android Auto now. A few outliers, of course. But there's a navigation screen there, and a type in a destination, just hit that. And then you can go to recents, points of interest, or you can type in an address. And I like that you can use the voice recognition as well, so you don't have to type all that out if you don't want to. And then XM weather, you have that. Text, traffic, and then you can set up your subscriptions as well. Then volume knob, click there for mute, hold the button down for resetting the entire radio. And then for the backup camera, put it in reverse. We do have the guidelines that follow you as you turn the steering wheel. So I like having that. And then dual zone automatic climate controls are down here. Auto mode's there. To turn that off, just cut the fan speed. And then we can choose fan direction here. Defrosters, sync. Then we can unsync it by adjusting that passenger side temperature. And then we do get 3-stage heated cooled seats for the driver, front passenger. Then we can cut the whole system off by hitting that power button there. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be happy that we still have the power adjustable pedals in this one. Traction control, bed lamp, parking sensors, lane departure, and then our downhill brake control, all that's there. Then we have 2 USB-A ports, 2 12 volts, and then I think it's a 110, 115 3-prong household plug-in there. Tons of storage in the middle part here, 2 cup holders, wireless charging pad on the center console cubby tray, and then plenty of space in it. So you have 2 USB-A ports, an aux input. Love that you have a light right in there, and then a 12 volt over here. And there's a view of the back seat, and we do have a power rear window, and I'll show you where that control is momentarily. Then we also have a power tilt and sliding sunroof, and that's one touch there. So nice to have that. And then sunglass holders here. And then dome lights are there. You can set that to the door off or on. And then those are the sunroof controls. There's that power sliding rear window control. Then we do have the garage door transmitter here. And then OnStar there. But over to the steering wheel, I want to show you the shifter. Hit the brake, pull down, reverse, neutral, drive. And then you have your low gear, and you can manually shift there. And then to the left side of the steering wheel, you have your windshield wiper controls, blinker, and then you have off one time, and then your intermittent all through there, then low and high. And then pull that there for the front wiper fluid. But behind the steering wheel on the left side, you can go through your track list or radio station presets there, up, down. And then behind the steering wheel on the right side, volume, up, down. And then cruise control, turn that on and off there. Cancel, set, forward collision alert, gap adjust, heated steering wheel toggle, and then voice recognition, Bluetooth. There's also an audio mute button. And then you can scroll through your gauge cluster using these 4 arrows and the check mark here. So if you go through the settings, well, options, you can change your units from US to metric. So pretty easy to do that. And I'm gonna have it so we can see fuel economy during the test drive. But I like that digital middle part there. It's a nice look. Then hazards are right there. But finally, there's the key fob. We do get a turn key, but we have a fob with remote start. And next it's time to take this 2017 Sierra 1500 Denali out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Sierra Denali. Now these BF Goodrich tires, they tend to be a little loud, but especially if you're gonna be off-road, they're pretty good at what they're designed to do. But I started, before I did the test drive, it said low there. It still says low after I put 2 gallons of gas in it, and I think it was struggling a little bit, but I believe it was due to just having pretty much no gasoline in it. So after putting a few gallons in again, it seems to be driving pretty well. But this is also a thirsty truck. Your EPA rated 15 miles per gallon city, 20 highway. So even after putting 2.5 gallons in, probably don't have too much range. But we'll give it a little throttle here. So not giving it too much. The 5.3, as I've said a million times doing reviews of GM's trucks, the 5.3 is pretty much good for the vast majority of consumers. And unless you're used to the 6.2 or you just want the fastest thing you can get, there's really no need for it. Now people like myself, I want the fastest thing you can get, so I'd want the 6.2 liter, but again, the 5.3 is no slouch. 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque, you just can't beat that. But ride quality is pretty good. I feel like this needs work somewhere. Just feeling a little bit of movement in the steering wheel, nothing in the gas pedal. And this does have magnetic ride control, so when this is in tip-top performance, this thing will ride like it's supposed to, very smooth. But you see we were in cylinder deactivation mode there for a minute, and we get half the cylinders off, and it'll show you that V4 when only 4 cylinders are engaged. And then if you give it the tiniest bit of throttle, usually it'll kick on the other 4. But for 80,000 miles, driving pretty well. And of course the AC's working, the cooled seat is working as well. So everything's still functional. Now the Sierra Denali, again, I like this body style because I feel like in 2017, and it's still pretty relevant today, but in 2017, this was a true luxury truck. You had the looks, and everybody wasn't trying to be super futuristic. This just looked the part, but still looked like a vehicle. Now everybody's trying to make their headlights as thin as possible and just making stuff crazy, but this still felt like an old school Sierra Denali, just futuristic at the same time. So it still feels like I'm driving a full-size pickup truck. Even with the heated, cooled seats, there's just a hint of ruggedness to it. And I think that's why people wanted them so much and still want them. But you could have got an F-150 King Ranch Platinum Limited or a Ram Longhorn, something around those, like a Laramie, something like that. But there's just something about a Sierra Denali, just a Denali trim in general to me, specifically on the Yukons and Sierras, it screams class, elegance, while still having enough power under the hood to take on anything. But like, see, I'm in the V8 mode now, and it was showing me at like 30 miles per gallon without the cylinder deactivation. So it still has a lot of eco technology, even when it's not using the cylinder deactivation. So it's not necessarily fuel efficient, but it does a good job at being fuel efficient when it can. But I want to give another shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this truck. Again, I'll leave a link below in the description if you're interested in buying this one. And again, once I put a little gas in it, I haven't noticed any other issues. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2017 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali.